Hello. Today we're just going to review type. And the type that we're going to review is generator. Human design has a whole language, and this is the way that they classify and label parts of the energetic template. So now, while generator may stir some meanings and things up in your brain, I'm going to describe what the generator means in human design terms. So let's just jump right in. I'm going to share my screen with you. So this is how the human race is divided by type. There are 5 energy types in human design. And over here, the green one is the generator, 37%. Manifesting generator is 33%. That's a hybrid of the generator and the manifester. Then we have 20% projector, 1% reflector, and 9% manifestors. This is just nice to take into account as you keep learning more about human design or wherever. However, I just want to draw your attention to generators. Manifesting generators are considered generator type. So when you add these two together, 70% of the population are generators. So moving on, what makes a generator a generator? It doesn't mean that you generate things, although it kind of does in this instance, but this is your human design body graph, and this is why it's all mechanics. It's the way energy flows through these centers and how they light things up and how they, other things are not lit up. So to be a generator, there's 2 things that are needed. One, the sacral has to be defined. Defined means colored in, so lit up. So this is this is the sacral, and this is defined. This is the identity center, the G center, and it's open or undefined. Okay. The other qualification to be a generator is these are the 4 motors in human design. We have the will center, the sacral center, the root center, and the emotional solar plexus. There has to be no motor connected to the throat. So as you can see here, it would be connected with a line like this. This is a channel. And so there's no lines from here going all the way up to here. None of them make it to the throat. Now, mechanically speaking, because of the flow of the energy in this way, the aura of this human provokes a response from others and God, universe, source, quantum. It's the aura around this human is big and inviting. It's attracted to others, because the reason that we have types in human design is because it creates a strategy. Now, if people are coming into us or towards us, bringing stuff to us, in the physical 3D reality, it invokes a response from our sacral. This is our sacral center. Okay. And this sacral is built to respond. So let's go back to, I know you saw this chart to start with, but on wherever you get this chart, this is geneticmatrix.com, but there's various places to go get your chart and the chart of your children and cousins and aunts and uncles and all the things. But the type will always be here: generator, pure generator, emotional generator. I think those are the only variations. The emotional and the pure have to do with authority, which we're not going to be covering. We're just going to be going over this generator. So that's where you get the type, the generator. And then you could see why the mechanics. I just wanted to show you the mechanics so you could see why that's what makes this type. So the generators, this sacral is workforce, life force, energy. And so generators they have this defined. So that means they have consistent access to life force, workforce, energy when they get a true yes from their sacral. The generators are the builders of the world. They're here to do the work that lights that particular generator up. The sacral speaks through this vibrational bodily response. It's from something in the external, and it goes and you can move in the direction, and that energy will always be present to create whatever that was to. It's one of the most surest ways for a generator to know would be using their sacral response. And there's no reason behind the and there's no reason behind that It's simply a knowing in the body, and it's a response mechanism. It's also always in the now. So, for example, hey, Amy, do you want to go to the movies? Well, it's a horror movie, the new horror flick. So as time goes on, if more information is given to you, the sacral can change its response. And that's how the sacral works. The sacral is a big part of being a generator. And so due to the aura and the inviting nature of the aura, the provoking a response from the 3D world, the generators can become cluttered with stuff that they should have said no to, that the sacral would say no to, but that they were saying yes to for a million different reasons. So, and then it gets a little bit off kilter, and energetically it's clouded and tired and it's lethargic and not feeling as, it feels expansive and like the energy is there to complete the task at hand. And this is where human design is an experiment. So as I'm speaking of the generator, these are all invitations for you to see if this is true for you. First of all, first invitation would be to play with your sacral. Let's get it online. For example, by having someone ask you yes, no questions, or asking yourself yes, no questions. It's easier if someone asks you first. So for example, is your name Amy? Are you sitting in a chair? Are you driving a car? Do you have black hair? Do you have your ears pierced? And see, really try to see if you can get your body to say rather than yes, no, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, things like that. So that's one of the first things. And to also know that most people don't know what the sacral response may not even have the but they do feel a connection to the gut. That's where this is coming from. It's this gut response. And it's even more, though it is this vibrational response from the gut. That vibration. So again, that comes from this sacral. So that would be the first invitation. And the second invitation would be like looking through your life and finding areas of when you actually were like, you listened to your gut and what happened, or you didn't listen to your gut and what happened. Look at the results and also start to see, like, when you have a to some situation, are you honoring it? Are you trying to justify it? And just because there is no reason for why a yes is a yes or a no is a no for a generator. It just is. So the purpose of generators are here to do the work of the world, but again, do the work that lights that generator up. It's not everything. It's those things. And they have the ability to sustain that work and not a job, but, you know, like a fulfillment or a passion, and that comes in infinite things. Also, not only do the work of the world, but also become masterful, become masters at the work. And so here comes to our next thing. Every type up here has a theme. You'll see it right here: satisfaction, frustration. So the emotional theme of the generator is frustration. So that's because the generator has here to do the work of the world and become a master at it. It's a stair-step learning curve. So it's one step, one step, one step, one step. And then there's these plateaus where you've been stepping, and get there, and it's kind of boring. And then generators get frustrated and sometimes quit. And often right at that plateau is where they're about to reach mastery. So when frustration comes up, this is just a cue for generators to be like, oh, okay, I probably know everything here. And well, we'll get to that in the next one, but it's okay for generators to quit, but they have to quit in response to something in the 3D world. And we'll get to that more in strategy and authority. So remembering that this is just the theme that happens for generators. Frustration doesn't mean you have to quit. It just means you may be reaching mastery, but you're a little bit bored right before you're about to break through to something new. And then the opposite side of that, satisfaction, is just a cue that you're in alignment with, that the generator's in alignment with their, their energetic template. They're in flow. They're building the work that lights them up. And at the end of the day, they are satisfied with the work that was produced. It's kind of, someone gave a great example of when they grew their first eggplant, and they tended to the seed every single day and worked really hard to it and battled all the pests. And then they brought it in and chopped it up and cooked it in their dinner and ate it in the dinner. That was very satisfying. And that may not be satisfying to every human, but the generator, it's that satisfaction feeling. The other part about a generator that I want to touch on is just that since generators have life force energy in their sacral, this energy just needs to be burned out. And also, just because the generators have the energy to do the work of the world does not mean that they are supposed to be workaholics or work until till burnout. They're supposed to work and rest and honor their body signals, you know. So I'm going to stop sharing this, and that's going to wrap up our general generator type talk. There are many, many parts, as you saw on the body graph. It's overwhelming with all the parts. It's not about all the parts. It's actually about the whole. But this is the first part of human design has to offer is the type and the setup of the energetic template of generators. Because we are all here on purpose and for a purpose, and each of them are very unique. So this gives us like a little shortcut into getting into the essence of why we're really here and what we're here to do. So think about what resonated with you. Think about where your questions are, what you want to get some clarity on. If there is anything that wasn't clear that you want more information on, and if there's anything that really jumped off the chart at you and you're like, what is that? I want to know what that means. Those would be the questions that I want to leave you with today. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.